Windows 95. So get ready for a few laughs and some great information. First up, the world's first cyber sitcom.
So I told her, I'm not made of money. You pay for the band. Your son's getting my daughter, and for pretty cheap, too, I might add.
Microsoft's 5th floor. Ladies' modems, children's shareware, and our bridal peripheral salon.
Wow. Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my. Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my. Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
Well, yeah.
The Wicked Witch of Windows 95.
Okay, Myra, I'll get back to you, darling. All right, bye-bye. I heard that, and you are?
This is Jennifer Aniston. I'm Matthew Perry. We're here to see Mr. Bill Gates about a possible starring role in the video guide to Microsoft Windows 95.
He's out right now, honey, but you can wait in his office.
Out?
Out?
Out! But in his absence, he asked me, his loyal assistant, Bernice Keppelman, to act as host and give you a peek under the hood at Windows 95. I was very involved in the project, you know.
You?
Well, I kept asking the boss to clean up his windows, you know, update, redecorate, cleaner views. He took my advice. Of course, I was talking about the windows in his office, and he was talking about the other windows. You know, the operating system with tens of millions of users. Stop with the clapping.
Oh, we thought it was customary maybe to clap when entering Mr. Gates' office.
I was just turning the lights on.
So, this is where the magic happens, huh? The ground zero personal computing. The nerve center of the world's biggest software company. I mean, the atmosphere resonates with anticipation.
Before I started making videos for YouTube, I had already recorded nearly 600 video tutorials over the course of 5 years. These tutorials covered a wide range of topics based on my experiences and experiments in different fields. Unfortunately, they were all in my native language, Farsi. However, I'm committed to sharing my knowledge with a wider audience and will be selecting the best videos from my Farsi collections to create English version. Today, I'm excited to talk about a topic that I've never covered before. Please note that these are my personal suggestions and may not be the best practices for everyone after installing Windows. After fixing laptops and desktops for almost 2 decades, I found that most people don't set up their Windows systems to meet their specific needs. As a result, I created a video to demonstrate how I set up my system and which software I typically install. I hope it helps you optimize your Windows experience. I noticed that if I explain each step and software in depth, the video would become too lengthy and boring for you to follow. Therefore, I decided to briefly mention them. However, if you have any suggestion or need more details about any step or software, feel free to ask it in our Discord server. I provided the link in the video description below. Please note that you don't have to follow all the steps in the exact order I suggested. I won't suggest paid alternatives if the software I recommend is free. I will only suggest alternatives for those that have a paid version. Additionally, most of the software I suggested also have a portable version, so you don't even need to install them on your system. Without further ado, let's get started with the suggested steps. If you have installed Windows 10 or 11, most of the runtime libraries are probably already installed alongside Windows. But what exactly are runtime libraries? According to Wikipedia, a runtime library is a set of low-level routines used by a compiler to invoke some of the behaviors of a runtime environment by inserting calls to the runtime library into a compiled executable binary. In simple terms, runtime libraries are set of code that provide language features required to run software or games coded in Java, C++, or other programming languages. These libraries included files such as DLL and OCX files. Also, developers and publishers usually included these libraries in the installation of their software or game. It's still a good idea to have them installed on your system. This ensures that you have the necessary components to run the software or game smoothly. Before installing any software, it's a good idea to check Add Remove Programs in Settings to ensure that you don't already have the required runtime libraries installed on your system. This step is important because it reduces the risk of errors related to runtime, as the name implies. Here is a list of the most well-known runtime libraries, including some that are now considered legacy or obsolete. I've included them in case you're using an older machine. You can find this list in the video description, and a simple Google search will direct you to their download. Here I named some of them: .NET Framework, Visual C++ Redistributable, DirectX, Adobe Flash Player, Microsoft Silverlight, Shockwave Player, Java Runtime Environment, Visual J#, OpenGL, and OpenAL. To check which version of DirectX you have in your system, click on Start and type dxdiag to open DirectX diagnostic tool. Then at the bottom of the System tab, you can find DirectX version. And to check whether you have OpenGL and OpenAL installed or not, open the drive you have your current version of Windows installed there. Open Windows folder. Open System32 folder, and there you may find both OpenGL and OpenAL. Here I want to suggest you a free tool called GLView to check both OpenGL and DirectX along with other useful system info briefly and easily in one place. I provide the link in the description. If for any reason you fail to find any of those runtime libraries and made sure those are not installed anywhere in your system, then you can simply download them from their official website. I want to reiterate that in most cases you don't need to download runtime libraries. For example, every major operating system ships with the libraries and headers already in place for you. You shouldn't need to install any OpenGL extension to get a game to work in OpenGL. Also, some runtime packs try to package almost all necessary runtime libraries for you inside their installer. I personally prefer to install them one by one from their official website. This ensures that you have the latest version of each library and that you don't accidentally install any unwanted software. However, if you prefer to use a runtime pack, here are some examples that you can try. Please note that I haven't tried them myself, so I cannot confirm them 100%. Please keep in mind that the runtime libraries I mentioned are only the most well-known ones. You can always check the README files provided inside the installation folder to see the pre-required runtime libraries and other important system requirements before clicking on the Setup button. This ensures that you have all the necessary components to run the software or game smoothly. UAC is an important safety and security feature introduced with Windows Server in 2008 and Windows Vista. It helps prevent unauthorized change to your computer by notifying you when an app tries to make changes that require administrative permissions. Based on the settings you choose, UAC can prevent the change or installation of an app, notify the admin, and pause it until granting their permission. To change your UAC level, which is an abbreviation for User Account Control, select Start and type UAC. The first search result should be Change User Account Control Settings. In its window, you can see a brief explanation of what it does, and there is a slider that controls the notification level or privilege level. There are 4 different UAC levels ranging from lowest to highest. Never notify, notify me when apps try to make change to my computer, notify me only when apps try to make change to my computer, do not dim my desktop, and always notify. I suggest the third level for a modest security level, which informs you only when you are not responsible for a change in your PC. If you want the maximum level of safety, I suggest that you set UAC to notify you even when you want to install or change a setting. If I had set it to this level, I wouldn't have lost my first Discord server, social media accounts, and other saved passwords stored inside the Chrome folder that reside in C's app data folder. This is because I ran a malicious software that pretended to be a game. And because I set the UAC to a lower level, it didn't notify me about that access to that sensitive file. However, it's up to you to decide which settings better meet your needs. So the hacker accessed all of my social media accounts, and I think you can guess what happened next.
Fellas, you think we could listen to the radio or something?
Radio? Who needs a radio? Ready, Harry? Mock. Yeah. Ing. Yeah. Bird. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mockingbird, don't everybody have you heard?
Have you heard?
She's gonna buy me a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, she's gonna buy me a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring don't shine.
Hey, Lloyd, look, there's some people who want to ride too.
Pick 'em up.
As a quick tip, whenever your internet browser prompts to save your passwords, simply cancel it by clicking on Never. Microsoft introduced UAC since Windows Vista, but Linux users had a similar protection feature even before that, called sudo. So if you have Windows XP or other older Windows versions, it means you cannot use UAC. By default, Windows Explorer doesn't show file extensions and has them hidden. The reason is that if you change the extension of a file, you can no longer run it by double-clicking on it. This is because the extension is actually part of the file name and path of the file, so programs that included and loaded those files during their setup, installation or runtime won't be able to load them. However, most of us, especially developers, designers, content creators, and so on, prefer to know the file format of a file, such as if it's a JPEG or PNG. To enable file extensions, open File Explorer options. From the Start menu, go to the View tab and search for the following option: Hide extensions for known file types. Then enable it. This will allow you to see the file extensions for all files in all folders. In addition to enabling file extensions, you can also show hidden files and folders. This is useful if you need to access files that are normally hidden from view. You can also find the same options by selecting Start and typing Folder Explorer options. And select the View tab. As a side note, you can also change the default programs for each extension in Windows. This allows you to choose which app opens each file type by default. To do this, open Default Apps from the Start menu, select the app you want to change, and choose which file types it can open. Before we continue, it's better to have a download manager installed on our system. This is because there is a risk that we may lose our downloads in the middle for any reason. However, some browsers automatically restore and resume downloads from the point they stopped. There are many benefits to using a download manager, including pausing and resuming downloads, faster download speed by dividing the file into smaller parts, prioritizing and scheduling downloads, speed limiter, direct media download from streams, mirror downloads, browser extensions and integration for auto-fetching download links, supporting torrent files, proxy supports, and so on. The download manager I use is called Internet Download Manager, and it's been a popular choice for many users worldwide for a long time because it has almost all the features I mentioned earlier. But it's not free. The price should be around $25 for a yearly or lifetime purchase, but you can check their website for more information. If you're looking for a free alternative, I suggest Free Download Manager, which is not only free but also open source. You can find the source code on GitHub. The next step I suggest is to install the drivers for your peripheral hardware, such as your microphone, mouse, keyboard, scanners, printers, and so on. I place this step before internal hard drives because, for example, your mouse or external modem may not function well, so it's better to first install the drivers to be able to communicate well and access all the features provided by those devices. To do this, you can use the CD that came with the device inside the package or go directly to the official website and find your specific product to download the driver that matches your version of Windows. You can also check the driver repository websites in case there is no official website for your device, or the device is legacy, or even the version of Windows you use is too old. In such cases, you need a custom written driver or a global driver for that category of the peripheral, which Windows usually has it installed by default. I'll explain soon what you can do to access those drivers and search through them to find your own ones in future videos. The next step is to install drivers for internal hardware, except for RAM and PSU. As far as I know, all other components need the drivers to be installed. You can usually find the driver CD inside their package or from their official website. If it's a laptop, then you can find almost all necessary drivers on their website in the support section by choosing your own laptop from the list. For example, you can visit the HP website to find the drivers for your laptop. Note that there may be multiple versions of a driver, so it's better to choose the last one that your operating system supports. Exceptionally, for your graphics card, I highly recommend downloading it from its chipset company, which is usually either NVIDIA or AMD. After you have installed all the drivers, I suggest checking Device Manager for any yellow or red question or alert marks next to devices listed there. To do this, select Start and type Device Manager. Note that not all devices are crucial for your system to operate, such as some ports or fingerprints. You have several options here, including updating drivers, disabling devices, and uninstalling devices. You can also get information about the device. After installing a driver, it's better to refresh this window to check for any hardware change. However, there are some sensitive upgrades that I highly recommend not doing yourself if it's your first time. Upgrading the motherboard BIOS is one of them, as well as upgrading the firmware of your router. It's better to ask an experienced user to do this for you. And also, make sure your laptop is connected to an AC source. Okay, that was the end of part 1 of this video series. There will be a few more parts that I will upload those in the channel soon. And if you need any help related to software or hardware, you can ask it from us in our Discord server. We're glad to have you there with us.
Want an egg? You know, I'll tell you something, I've learned so much, I feel like I've already been a part of the Windows 95 video.
Yeah, I know. It's an incredible program, isn't it?
Yeah, and the best thing is we've met some incredibly freakish and frightening people.
Uh-huh. And you know what, Maddie? I'm feeling kind of nutty. I'm feeling kind of kooky.
Yeah?
So you know what I think I'm going to do?
What?
I think I'm going to press that red button.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Windows. I know Windows.
I told you people to stay away from the brown floppies.
Well, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, you pressed a button and people got zapped into the computer, and now, what do we do?
Leave.
Yeah, I guess we could see Bill tomorrow, right? Okay. You know, this is gonna sound kind of strange, but I'm kind of gonna miss Joystick Johnny.
Oh, are you, Maddie?
Hey, Manny, what's going on?
You know, by the way, I said floppy.
You said Flappy.
No, I didn't. I said floppy.
You said Flappy.
Floppy.
Flappy.
Why would I say floppy?
Well, you say potato, I say potato, you say floppy, I say
Say
flappy.
it, say it.